13 Ahava, 13 Ashad, 13 Hashem, 13 to the Ra HaKodesh within, 13 love to all my brothers and sea stars out there. So I got this water, and I was reading it, and it says, see that? I don't know if it's going to be backwards, but you can't see it. It says Washita. Washita Mountains. And that's where this ball at the source in the Washita Mountains. And I just happen to live in a city called Wichita. And so I was going out for my walk yesterday with this water, going through the city of Wichita. And normally I'm gonna ride my bike, but ancestors told me go for a walk. So I'm walking, and I gotta walk through the city, and then I get to the river, and then I go up the river to get to this little beach where I like to meditate, where I like to practice Qigong. And I'm seeing lots of people on the street. I mean, I live in a fun area. Like, I'm like no one else here. Wichita got some characters, right? So I mean, there's just lots of people. I'm not used to really walking through the city. Like I said, I ride my bike, and I see a lot of these things, and I'm like, wow, walking it gives us so much benefits, because I've been feeling like I need to move around a lot. I don't got a balcony or a yard or anything, so I gotta get out into nature, to stay grounded, to stay connected with Ma. And I know that there's a lot of queens out there that might live in the same kind of situation. They might live in an area where there's some sketchy people out there. So this is a video for self-defense, because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I had a friend come in town, and she's like, you're so lucky you can just walk around and go to these parks and stuff and, feel okay. I'm like, well, let me do something that'll help the queens feel, like they have a little confidence, because, if we're covered up, we've got our consort with us, we're in our pyramid of protection, those are all good to keep us protected. We're not walking around bad areas, we're staying out of the bars and not going around at night. That's all good, but at the end of the day, this is just something to give us a little more confidence when it comes to walking around in parks, public places where you got all these characters around. So let me just show you the techniques, and then we'll explain them. I have a lot I want to talk about, and then afterward I'll tell you a little story and like how we can apply it. So first I'm just gonna run through these techniques, all right? It's gonna look kind of funny, but you'll just start with one arm, and you just want to relax, kind of bend the knees a little bit. Yeah. And just start nice and slow. Just picking the arm up. That'd be a good way to start. After a while, bring your hand here, just stretching your shoulder, pulling it back. Eventually, you kind of want to dip and feel it. Good. Now you just flip it the other way. So you can be out in the yard doing your little thing, and then just start, oh, I'm just stretching my shoulder, but really what you're doing is now you're prepared. If someone comes and tries to grab you, you have just a simple technique that you can know that's going to be second nature. At this point, if you practice this, you'll be able to defend that, or you can deflect it that way. So that's just a little simple technique that you guys can get started with practicing. You can do it while you're walking. You can do it just in your own home. But what it's going to do is going to give you that confidence that you know exactly how you can deflect someone that's trying to grab you just by this. Now there's some pointers that I want to make with the technique. Notice that I'm not just using my arm, I'm using my body. And Jara El Bey made a good point. He posted something in TLC the other day. He was saying that in Kung Fu they teach through water, and that's a great point because water, it's gotta be flexible, but it's also strong at the end of the day. You know, if water can't go around something, it can't go over something, can't go under something, it's eventually going to go through it. So if we're trying to be like water, we're trying to connect our sacral chakra, which is representative of water, with our arm, and we're trying to move that energy like a wave out the arm. So you can kind of see this kind of wave that I'm making with my body. And notice my waist is what's moving along with it. Waist is different from the hips. That was something I was confused with. Your waist is right here, your hips are down here. So you can kind of see I'm moving at the waist, my hips are stationed. So that's why you want to bend the knees and practice pivoting right here. You're pivoting, but the hips stay the same, and to move it out. And same thing on this. So you're just practicing, you know, getting your shoulders to a nice stretch, which is the point I want to make. I didn't really come to Kung Fu martial arts to learn self-defense. There's a lot of disciplines where that's the main factor, especially like in your Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, Krav Maga, those kind of disciplines. It's really combative, and I'm not really for getting around just like, you know, wrestling other guys and stuff. That was, you know, that's for like a different kind of person. For me, you're gonna find me over by the wind chimes breathing, right? So I came to it, you know, for more of like a spiritual self-defense, because I was at a point in my life where I was kind of getting attacked on a spiritual level, and I didn't really have to worry about like trying to be aggressive or like fight anyone. That being said, I realized that through a lot of the meditations, like this could just be a stretch or a meditation while you're walking. A lot of these meditations in Kung Fu have a martial aspect to them. So you could be just simply doing this as just a stretch, but at the end of the day, if someone comes to grab you, now you know how to do that, how to deflect what they've got, bring their arm down, push their arm to the side. Now I'm here, and I can either run or I could strike. And when you're in those situations, it's gonna be such a split second kind of thing. You just wanna go for their eyes, their throat, their, you know, their junk or something, and then get out of there. That's like, you know, you don't wanna like try to use your force if you're someone that's smaller against someone that's bigger and try to punch them in the chest. They're just gonna laugh at you. You just wanna basically get yourself away from the situation, which brings me to my next point, is that I'd only had maybe one class with the individual that was teaching me martial arts at the time. Shout out to Steve. He was teaching me just, you know, out of the goodness of his heart. We'd go practice at the gazebo by the river, and he was teaching me that first lesson. He could kind of see that I was more like water, and he was trying to teach me that you want to be like water. And from that, I learned to connect with the center. And by connecting with the center, you can let that water flow through your body. Well, later on that week, I was walking with my queen. We were going down Main Street. And of course, I'm tested in some sort of way, right? So there was 3 guys, all of them way bigger than me, coming toward me. And you know, they're disrespecting women verbally. They're obviously drunk out. Someone got dumped, and they're just, you know, they're saying some nasty things. And of course, you know, this is gonna be like a kung fu movie, and I'm about ready to like whoop up. No, I'm just kidding. But they're coming toward me, and I could obviously feel that my queen was like not comfortable. And they're coming, and they're not moving to the side, and we're, you know, just walking. And instead of trying to like puff up my chest and everything and like be aggressive and fight fire with fire, I was saying fire with water. So they're gonna try to run into me because they're obviously ticked that I'm with someone. And instead, what I did is I relaxed my body like water, and they just brushed right through me. Well, by the time they had turned around to be like, what the heck, why didn't he, bump shoulders with me to try to start a confrontation, we were already down the block halfway, hopping in the car, getting ready to go. So the best way to defend yourself is to avoid the situation. You don't want to be out there at night. You don't want to be out there at a bad time of the day when you know there's a lot of people, because we can follow all these little rules. We want to stay covered up, but sometimes you can be middle of daylight and it's just the fact that you were by yourself and you got taken. And we're in our pyramid of protection. We've got protection from our ancestors, all of this stuff, but this is just to give you that confidence. If you ever in the situation, now you have one thing that can be second nature, you can do. And as always, I love y'all with all my heart. If this technique's not really resonating with you, you want something different, just contact me. And until we meet again, this is Orca Bay with Raman Ka. 13, 13, 13, Rospeg.